Hello and welcome to another edition of the NTN Morning Update. We're coming to you live from the Information Command Center of the GIS Studios. We'd like to welcome you. Thank you so much for tuning in. For those of you watching on air, online, residents in St. Lucia, St. Lucians in the diaspora, we do appreciate you tuning in to get the latest updates from the government of St. Lucia. My name is Jessie Leonce. Today is Thursday, the 3rd of December, 2020. Thank you for making this your morning program, your wake-up program, as we bring you these latest developments for the 24-hour news cycle. Prime Minister Honorable Alan Shastney welcomes the commencement of the second phase of the HIA, that's the Urinor International Airport Redevelopment Project. The commissioning of an agro-processing plant in Babonneau adds more value to locally grown produce. And the 10th Congress of Caribbean Beekeepers ends on a fruitful note in St. Lucia. The details to those stories and more coming up in just a moment. Also on the COVID-19 front, St. Lucia registers recoveries as well as new cases on December 2nd. That was yesterday, Wednesday. We're going to tell you a little bit more about that. And we're going to hear from the CMO, Dr. Sharon Belmar-George, on the extent of the work that is ongoing now, investigations to trace the cases that have so far been confirmed. We know an epidemiological link was confirmed with the latest batch of cases confirmed, and we will hear from her shortly. So stay with us. When we come back, we get into the news.
Keeping hands clean is important for good health. However, after a disaster, staying clean is hard to do, especially if there is no pipe-borne water. Simple things you can do to stay clean and remain healthy are: wash your hands with soap and clean water. If these are not available, sanitizers with alcohol are options. Wash your hands many times during the day, before preparing food, eating, caring for a sick person or baby, treating a cut, wound, or sore. Wash hands after using the bathroom, changing diapers, caring for animals, caring for sick or injured persons, after handling garbage. Washing your hands is one of the best ways to prevent illness. For further information, contact the Bureau of Health Education at telephone number 468-5349.
The Water and Sewage Company Inc. WASCO is currently undergoing a system upgrade at all our locations. The objective of this conversion is to enhance efficiency and quality of service that we provide to our customers. This is in an effort to reduce the amount of time that they spend in store when visiting our locations. The upgrades are also intended to enhance the number of services offered to the public online and to improve the overall customer experience. We recognize that during the course of this conversion, however, that customers have been experiencing some inconvenience. This, coupled with the new operating procedures due to the onset of COVID-19 and the mandatory social distancing in-store policy, has caused further delays for our customers. In addition, the situation has also caused delays in the issuing of bills for the month of November and December. Having highlighted the issues confronting WASCO at this time, we wish to solicit patience from the public as we work assiduously to resolve the conversion issues in the quickest possible time. Meanwhile, we wish to advise customers to visit the nearest SurePay locations in order to make payments to their accounts.
Thank you so much for staying with us. If you're just joining, a special good morning to you. This is the Morning Update live on NTN for today, Thursday, the 3rd of December, 2020. And now to get into the news, the St. Lucia Air and Seaports Authority, SLASPA, is gearing up for the second phase of preparatory works for the Urinor International Airport Redevelopment Project. We have details in this report coming from the Office of the Prime Minister.
Prime Minister Honorable Alan Shastney spoke at Monday's Cabinet press briefing about the importance and significance of the Urinor International Airport Redevelopment Project and the economic activity it will create. The construction of the world-class facility is expected to employ hundreds of St. Lucians. The Prime Minister's statements come as SLASPA's management and other stakeholders have finalized critical conditions for the commencement of the HIA redevelopment project.
In terms of the project starting right now, we're very excited. It's taken a long time to get to this place, to get all the financing secured. It has been secured. There's over $88 million currently in the lockbox as we speak. So it means that the bankers are very secure in knowing that even if COVID continues and there's a continuing dampening on arrivals, there's certainly enough monies in the lockbox to carry the existing loans for at least 3 years without getting any new traffic. But to commence the project now is a feat in itself and very exciting. But certainly with COVID and the need to be able to have other economic activity on the ground, obviously it's very meaningful.
Site preparation has been ongoing on the 28 acres of land earmarked for the project since February 2020, and the south of the island can look out for a new hum of activity as the project enters phase 2 of work. According to the Prime Minister, this project is a total overhaul of what currently exists, and the expansion will also include mitigation efforts against flooding, runway safety and resilience, and contingent emergency response.
The World Bank has come in with a $45 million loan, very concessionary loan, 40 years, a 10-year moratorium at 0.5% interest. And that is to review the flood problems in that area and also to deal with the resurfacing of the runway and to put in the navigational lighting equipment for the airport facilities.
Prime Minister Shastny stated that this project is a major accomplishment considering the backdrop of the ongoing pandemic. This, he says, is a unique opportunity for St. Lucians to work and expand our capacity as a country.
This is really good news for St. Lucia. One, the immediacy of the jobs that it's going to create, but two, at the end of the project, we would have significantly improved the capacity of the country. And we now know that COVID's not going to be here forever.
The government of St. Lucia, through the St. Lucia Air and Seaports Authority, commissioned and received a master plan for the redesign and development of the Hiranora International Airport into a modern facility catering to the growing demands of the travel industry. Construction for the HIA redevelopment project is undertaken by Taiwan-based Overseas Engineering and Construction Company, OECC, with project management, engineering, and oversight by Miami-based CBRE HIRI. For more information on the latest developments, visit hiaproject.com. Reporting for the Office of the Prime Minister, I am Danielle Dubois.
Thank you for that report, Danielle, coming from the Office of the Prime Minister. The St. Lucia Air and Seaports Authority, SLASPA, preparing to enter the second phase of preparatory works for the redevelopment of the Hiranora International Airport, and the Honorable Prime Minister welcoming this commencement. We continue with news this morning. The development and use of agro-processing techniques in the quest to diversify the island's agriculture sector and add value to locally grown produce has advanced yet again with the commissioning of an agro-processing plant in Babonneau. The facilities are under the command of the St. Lucia Network of Rural Women Babonneau Cluster. We have a report from Anicia Antoine from over at the Ministry of Agriculture. Take a look.
The establishment of the Agro-processing St. Lucia Network of Rural Women Producers Babonneau Cluster Plant will assist with product research and development for the transformation of local produce into value-added agricultural products. The plant will also provide training and technical assistance, as well as support for the transfer of technology for agri-business development to improve income generation and food security. President of the St. Lucia Network of Rural Women Producers Babonneau Cluster, Louisa Anthony, underscores the benefits of the plant to the residents of Babonneau, the surrounding communities, its environs, as well as the national economy.
Our outlook for the agro-processing facility is that it is an asset to boost and grow business for our members, and also the wider community of agro-processors. To achieve this, we have mapped out in a working business plan a number of areas for generating revenue from the operation of the facility, as well as reach agreement on the importance of actively creating space for all interested persons to work with us here.
Indicating that this new investment signals opportunities, the Minister for Agriculture, Fisheries, Physical Planning, Natural Resources and Cooperatives, Honorable Ezekiel Joseph, challenges the people of Babonneau to utilize the plant efficiently.
I have the fullest confidence that this place is going to be utilized properly. I have the fullest confidence. But of course, you have to take a number of things into consideration. One is how you manage it to bring the benefits that is so much necessary for you all. That's important. The management structure of this facility. To the question of food safety, and I'm happy that the way it was constructed for us to be recognized internationally, because we should not only looking at our local market, we should be looking at the regional market, we should be looking at the international market. Because the products I'm seeing being produced has that potential, Madam President. So I know we had some different problems with the department responsible, but of course, we were able to overcome these challenges to make sure that it got the certification that it deserves to allow us to export. And here I said to allow us to export.
The agro-processing plant was funded by the Banana Industry Trust at an estimated cost of approximately 500,000 EC dollars. From the Information Unit of the Department of Agriculture, I am Anicia Antoine reporting.
Thank you, Anicia, for that report. We are due for a break. When we come back, more patients are recovering from COVID-19 in St. Lucia. Stay with us.
Better yet, use soap and water.
We must protect each other if we are to beat this corona.
Together let us win this war. Be a soldier for St. Lucia. Together let us win this war. Be a soldier, together we can beat this corona.
So you don't become the next case. Avoid touching your face. I'm sure you've been told so. Handshakes and hugging are up. No, no.
Advice, give you the please. Cover your mouth and your nose if you cough or sneeze.
Practice social distancing and avoid large social gatherings.
Together let us win this war. Be a soldier for St. Lucia. Together let us win this war. St. Lucia, be a soldier. Together we can beat this corona.
For further information, please contact the hotline at 311 or the Bureau of Health Education at 468-5349.
Thank you so much for staying with us. If you're just joining the live broadcast, thank you for tuning in. A special good morning to you. We continue with the news coming out of the government of St. Lucia for the last 24-hour news cycle. We have more recoveries of COVID-19 here in St. Lucia. But first, the government of St. Lucia has received a donation of medical equipment from the French government. Details in this report.
Diplomatic allies continue to lend their support as St. Lucia battles the COVID-19 pandemic. The French government recently made a donation of medical supplies and equipment to St. Lucia, which is anticipated to bolster the island's COVID-19 response. Marc Metillo is the chargé d'affaires at the Embassy of France.
St. Lucia is suffering more than most of the other islands from the pandemic, with a sharp increase in the number of cases since mid-October. It is the reason why France has considered it important to respond favorably to a request for assistance from the government of St. Lucia. We would like to express our solidarity with St. Lucia, as well as the other OECS member countries, with very strong ties in all areas. On Wednesday this week, more than 10,000 masks were handed over to the St. Lucian authorities to be given to public officials who are in direct contact with the public, in particular members of the Royal St. Lucia Police. Today, I have the pleasure of presenting another donation from France to St. Lucia. It consists of 50 military folding beds, 10 cardiac monitors, and 2 ventilators. These will assist the hospitals in providing better health care to their patients and families.
The charge d'affaires said that the embassy is working on a third shipment, which includes 40 medical beds, due to arrive in mid-December. Highlighting the urgent need for the supplies, he explained that all efforts are being made to speed up the shipment. Acting Deputy Permanent Secretary in the Department of External Affairs, Guillaume Simon, noted that St. Lucia and the French continue to share a very mutually beneficial relationship.
Well, St. Lucia has enjoyed mutual cooperation with the French. We've enjoyed a cordial relationship with the French government, and as part of the assistance to the government of St. Lucia, the French have in fact donated these products, which again was really the lobbying effort of our Consul General, which is Joanna Salton, CG Joanna Salton, in terms of getting benefit for us through in combating the COVID pandemic.
Medical Officer of Health in the Department of Health and Wellness, Dr. Glensford Joseph, described the donation as timely.
This donation from the French government and people is going to be very helpful and instrumental in St. Lucia being able to manage this COVID-19 pandemic. We do know we have the respiratory center, and there is urgent need for such vital equipment in that facility to enhance the capacity of the physicians, the nurses, and other medical personnel in managing patients in St. Lucia.
The donation was received by the Department of External Affairs on behalf of the government and people of St. Lucia. From the Government Information Service, I am Janelle Norville.
Thanks for that report, Janelle Norville. We continue with the news this morning. The Chief Medical Officer made an announcement yesterday, more recoveries of COVID-19. I now go over to her statement. Do take a look.
Today, Wednesday, December 2nd, 2020, the Ministry of Health and Wellness received confirmation of 3 new cases of COVID-19. This is from a total of 95 samples with 3 positives and 92 negatives. This brings a total number of cases diagnosed in country today to 262. Case number 260 is a 60-year-old male from the Vieux-Fort district. Case number 261 is a 28-year-old male from the Castries district. Case number 262 is a 26-year-old female from the Castries district. These individuals were seen at community respiratory centers where they were assessed and tested for COVID-19. They were all placed in quarantine by health practitioners while awaiting the return of their test results. Epidemiological links have been established for case number 261, and investigations are ongoing by the contact tracing team to determine the links for the other 2 cases. As per protocol, arrangements have been made for placement of those individuals into isolation. The Ministry of Health and Wellness, we're pleased to announce 3 COVID-19 recoveries for today, December 2nd, 2020, bringing the new total number of active cases currently in country to 119. To date, St. Lucia has recorded a total of 141 recoveries in country. At present, all of the active cases are stable and doing well. Everyone is again reminded of the importance to take personal responsibility to minimize the spread of COVID-19 by maintaining habits to limit the spread of the virus. We encourage every individual to continue partnering with the Ministry of Health by practicing daily infection prevention and control measures to minimize the spread of the virus. Wash your hands often during the day. Wear a mask every time you're in public that covers both your mouth and your nose. Also, maintain a distance of 6 feet from others, which is about 2 arms length apart. Sanitize, frequently touch surfaces using a bleach solution. Also, avoid contact with other persons who have flu-like symptoms. If you are experiencing flu-like symptoms, keep away from others and seek medical care immediately at the closest community respiratory clinic. The Ministry of Health and Wellness will continue providing updates as new information becomes available.
That was the CMO Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Sharon Belmar-George, announcing that out of 95 samples, 3 positives emerged. So we registered 3 new cases of COVID-19 yesterday, Wednesday, the 2nd of December. Case number 260, a 60-year-old, 261, a 28-year-old, and 262, a 26-year-old. And they're from Vieux-Fort, Castries, and Castries, respectively. So you are reminded, we also have the recoveries, 3 recoveries registered yesterday as well. You are reminded to adhere to the protocols and rely on the infection prevention measures to guide you throughout the day to ensure that you are protecting yourself as far as you can from COVID-19. The use of the mask, frequent use of hand sanitizer when you don't have a faucet around to wash your hands frequently with soap and water, and observing the 6-foot distance. Wherever you're going, I mean, you may get stares of persons who have not fully gotten with the program as yet, you know, individuals watching and saying, well, what happened to this person? But it is important that we adhere to the infection prevention measures. They do go a long way in ensuring that we reduce the risk of transmission in country. Continuing, we have a break. We're due for a break at this moment, but when we come back, we have more news stories, including some bulletin information from the Department of Health and Wellness in terms of clinic schedules. So stay tuned for that and more coming up after this break.
The Water and Sewage Company Inc. WASCO is currently undergoing a system upgrade at all our locations. The objective of this conversion is to enhance efficiency and quality of service that we provide to our customers. This is in an effort to reduce the amount of time that they spend in store when visiting our locations. The upgrades are also intended to enhance the number of services offered to the public online and to improve the overall customer experience. We recognize that during the course of this conversion, however, that customers have been experiencing some inconvenience. This, coupled with the new operating procedures due to the onset of COVID-19 and the mandatory social distancing in-store policy, has caused further delays for our customers. In addition, the situation has also caused delays in the issuing of bills for the month of November and December. Having highlighted the issues confronting WASCO at this time, we wish to solicit patience from the public as we work assiduously to resolve the conversion issues in the quickest possible time. Meanwhile, we wish to advise customers to visit the nearest SurePay locations in order to make payments to their accounts.
What's in the food you're eating? Do you really even know? All the chemicals and hormones used to accelerate their growth. All the artificial flavoring, sweeteners and colors too. We consume and we don't spare a thought for the damage that they'll do. No, think about the children. Think about the children. How will we save them? Chemicals and GMOs are not the solution. Use organic and join.
Excessive agrochemical use, additives, and genetically modified foods are harmful to health and the environment. Join the good food revolution. Grow, buy, and consume organic. A message from Rise St. Lucia and the Ministry of Sustainable Development with funding from the GEF Small Grants Program, UNDP.
The good food revolution.
Thank you so much for staying with us. This is the Morning Update live on NTN, where we bring you the latest developments from the government of St. Lucia. Coming off of the break, we heard from the Chief Medical Officer for December 2nd, that was yesterday, that we've so far had 3 recovered patients of COVID-19, as well as 3 new cases being registered out of a sample of 95 tests being conducted. That's the latest set of tests being conducted. We do hope you are adhering to the protocols and relying on the infection prevention measures to protect you and your family and the population at large at this time. We continue with news this morning. The 10th Congress of Caribbean Beekeepers has ended in St. Lucia with a call for greater involvement in youth and the incorporation of new technology in safeguarding the future of honey production.
We're now in sunny Florida. How is everything this morning with you?
Beautiful. Thank you.
The three-day virtual Congress of Caribbean Beekeepers Associations was truly an international event with participation from Europe, North America, and Asia.
Greetings from India. We had presentations from France, places where it would have been difficult sometimes economically for them to get to St. Lucia to participate.
The conference covered a wide range of issues facing the beekeeping industry, including concerns over the lack of finance.
Human beings are creatures of habit, and how you borrow from other agencies will more or less dictate how you borrow from the bank.
A number of banks participated, along with marketers and exhibitors of honey products, ranging from honey to the many byproducts now on the market.
The next thing we'll talk about now is candles.
The host of the 10th Congress of Caribbean Beekeepers, Richard Matthias of the Ayanola Apiculture Collective, welcomed the COVID-19 inspired format of a virtual conference. He said this added value to the quality and depth of presentations.
I think moving forward, it's definitely going to be the format for us to do a blended Congress, having it both virtual and physical appearance. I think it all goes well. This is a new model for us to have this kind of event.
Mr. Matthias highlighted threats to pollinators such as bees and other insects. He urged the public to get involved in spreading awareness of the value of all pollinators.
There's very little research, very little information on the pollinators of the Caribbean, particularly our indigenous stingless bees. These species and our leafcutter bees. These species of bees go totally unnoticed.
The Congress noted that beekeeping has no future if science and technology are not incorporated into the development of the industry.
You need to get the scientific data in. You need to do the little, even if it's just jotting down a piece of paper, the observations you make every day over the course of a year. This is the beginnings of a scientific experiment.
The 10th Congress of Caribbean Beekeepers was made possible through the support of the Global Environment Fund, SGP, UNDP St. Lucia, the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, and telecommunications service provider, Flow.
That report there on the wrap-up of the 10th Congress of Caribbean Beekeepers in St. Lucia, with a call for greater involvement of youth and the incorporation of new technology in safeguarding the future of honey production. And we have an update from the Ministry of Education. At this time, the Ministry of Education, Innovation, Gender Relations and Sustainable Development, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, has had to modify the kindergarten registration process. The ministry has replaced the face-to-face process, creating an online portal accessible at kregistration.education.gov.lc. The portal is user-friendly and can be accessed via computer, tablet, and mobile phone. Parents will need a valid email address to log on, and for further communication with the ministry, the education officials, that is. Dr. Claudia Louis is the Chief Planning Officer in the Department of Education, Innovation and Gender Relations.
Provisions will be made for parents to drop off their documents at the schools within a particular period. However, a further announcement will be made on the exact details, given the exact details. We would really like to encourage parents to try the online portal. It is user-friendly, so we would encourage you, even if you don't have a computer at home, if you have a family member who has access, or you can use a mobile phone to access the portal. Later during the week, we will make an announcement for all those who do not have access to digital means.
Dr. Claudia Louis highlights the 2021 registration process and the required documents at this time.
Yeah, parents will be given the option of selecting 3 schools. And the main reason for that is you may select a school of first choice, but that school may be oversubscribed. So we may have to place your child in your second choice school. So for this reason, we are asking everybody to select the 3 options. Yes, it's very important that the parents have these documents, the child's birth certificate, and in this case, we are looking at children born in the year 2016, the immunization certificate or the health card, to the passport photo, which has to be scanned. And if you're applying based on your workplace, then you would need a job letter. If you're applying based on your residence, we would use a utility bill as proof of residence. So these documents, you should get these documents beforehand and scan those, and you would be guided by the online portal as to when the documents should be uploaded.
That was Dr. Claudia Louis, the Chief Planning Officer in the Department of Education, Innovation and Gender Relations, speaking on the modified kindergarten registration process. That brings us to the latest in terms of the news stories that we have for you this morning. And now to some bulletin information. The Department of Health and Wellness informs the public of a new opening hours of the pharmacy at the Grocery Polyclinic for the period Monday, November 30th, 2020 to Monday, January 4th, 2021. The pharmacy will be open Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. The Department of Health apologizes for any inconvenience that this may cause. For more information, you can contact the Grocery Polyclinic at the following numbers: 450-9661 or 450-9696. Please keep that in mind. And another bulletin from the Department of Health and Wellness, community eye screening clinic for December 2020. The primary healthcare unit in the Ministry of Health and Wellness informs the public that the community eye screening clinic will be available only on Wednesday from 8 a.m. in the following communities for the month of December 2020. So every Wednesday for the month of December 2020, they will have eye screening clinics. December 2nd, 2020, that was yesterday. December 9th, 2020, Labrie Wellness Center. And December 16th, 2020, T. Rocher Castries Wellness Center. So again, December 9th, that is the next community eye screening clinic. That will be in the Labrie Wellness Center. And December 16th, 2020, at the T. Rocher Castries Wellness Center. All persons who are coming to use the eye screening services must wear a mask and adhere to the rules of physical distancing. Before entering the facility, individuals' hands will be sanitized with an alcohol-based solution. The Ministry of Health and Wellness will continue to take the necessary precautions to ensure the safety of all during this COVID-19 pandemic. And with that, we've come to the end of the NTN morning update for today, Thursday, the 3rd of December, 2020. Season's greetings to you all as we wrap up for the morning. Just to go over the headlines, Prime Minister Honorable Alan Shastney welcomes the commencement of the second phase of the HIA, that is the Uranora International Airport redevelopment project. The commissioning of an agro-processing plant in Babonneau adds more value to locally grown produce. We also heard of more recoveries of COVID-19 here in St. Lucia from the Chief Medical Officer, and also the government of St. Lucia receiving a donation of medical equipment from the French government. And finally, the 10th Congress of Caribbean Beekeepers hosted in St. Lucia ends on a fruitful note. I'd like to thank you so much for watching. Do enjoy the rest of your day, and do stay tuned to NTN for more programming coming from the government of St. Lucia. Enjoy.